all over you.
Okay, I want to start by prefacing it by saying in 1999, I was broken and sick and lost, and I thought I was going to the bereavement counseling, and I went to Curses and Deliverance seminar at Jacob's Well, and ended up getting saved and delivered and healed and filled with the Spirit and spoken tongues on the very first day, and I'd never heard anybody do that before. So I know it wasn't something I just tried to do. So I went out into the world looking for a church, and I thought, this is Christianity. I thought everybody was like this that knew Jesus. And I got shut down in about 6 months. So I'm just prefacing that. Okay. So I've been crying out to the Lord now for a while. For the last couple of years, it's been really dry. And last night, before I came here, I was like, God, I really need a word. I'm desperate for you. I'm hungry for you. I don't even want to eat food anymore. I just want to eat your word. I don't know these gentlemen. I've never heard of these gentlemen. I just knew I was supposed to come because I love Catherine's worship. I got an email from her, so I came. Okay. Last night, during worship, all I kept hearing the Lord say was, come up here, come up here, come up here. And then last night there was a healing call. Altar call. So I came up for some healing, and I got prayed for, and I stood there, and my body froze. I had no control over my body at all. My mind was going crazy. And everybody beside me fell in the Spirit, and I'm like, Lord, that usually happens to me. What's going on? And I was going crazy. I just stood there, frozen. And when Ron came back, I said, excuse me, but I'm frozen, because I didn't know what to do. And he said, oh, just stay there and worship God. And I went, okay. So I did. And about 5 minutes later, he called out another issue that I happened to have, prayed for me, and I fell in the Spirit. So I went home last night, went to bed, had a wonderful sleep, got up this morning, and I recall last night they said if you have prophecies, get your journals out and read those things. And I went, God, I have those, but I never wrote them down because when I got them, I didn't know what they were. I was a brand new baby Christian. So I said, Lord, you need to remind me. So this morning in 5 minutes, I wrote down dreams and visions and prophecies. I had a page full of them, and I put them in my purse, and I brought them here, and I went, God, I don't know why I'm even bringing these with me. But God reminded me of a prophecy I had about Lazarus. In 2001, I had a business. Everything was going great. I got saved in 99, and my business was going like this, and suddenly it went like this, and it crashed. And there was betrayal in it, and I remember being in my basement, feeling like my stomach was being ripped out of me, and I couldn't understand it. And I phoned my spiritual mentors, and they went, you know what, you just need to get away. You need to get away. We're going to a conference. Come with me. So I went to this conference in the States, and I got there, and it was a pastor's conference. And I'm like, God, I'm a baby Christian. What am I doing here? And the whole conference was about betrayal. And there was an altar call for betrayal. And about 400 pastors went up, and my heart broke for pastors because I had no idea people heard pastors. I was new to the church. So I went up because my mentor said, you go, you've been betrayed, you get up there. So I went up, and the gentleman looked at us and said, there's way too many of you up here. I can't prophesy over everybody. I normally do, but I'm just going to do a corporate thing. So we started doing this corporate thing, and I'm standing in the middle, and all these pastors are weeping and weeping around me, and I'm going, God, why am I here? I don't understand. And suddenly this hand comes on my head, and he looks at me, and he says, lady, they think they've killed you. They've put a grave cloth over your face, and they've wrapped you in dead men's clothes, and they've put you in the tomb. And God says, come up here. And that was all the prophecy I got, because it wasn't recorded, nobody wrote it down, and for 10 years I've been going, God, I don't understand what that meant. Oh. Okay. I'm trying to follow my notes, sorry. Okay, this morning, when Brett said about pick your favorite scripture, And he mentioned the lady at the well. I went, God, you're funny. That's where I got saved. Okay, I'll pick that one too. And I felt God said, no, Lazarus.
Wow.
Instantly, as soon as it got quiet in this room, the feeling I had in here last night that I was froze happened to me in my chair. My body was just bound tight. I couldn't feel anything, and my head was going crazy, and I was inside this cave, and I was screaming, somebody get me out of here, somebody get me out of here. And as I laid there, I heard this rumbling sound, and I saw the light. You know, when your eyes are closed and it's dark and the light goes on, you notice something's changed. And I was like paying attention, and I was listening, and I heard this stone roll away. And Jesus was there. He said, Joni, come up here. And I laid there. It felt like hours. I laid there and I couldn't move, and suddenly everything started to shake.
Oh.
And the cloth fell off of me, and I walked out of the tomb. And for the first time ever, there were steps coming out of the tomb. I never saw that before, and Jesus was at the top of the steps. Oh, so I walked up the steps. Oh, and I took his hand. Oh, and he said, walk with me and do what I do. Oh. And then we had a break, and I went, okay, it's break time. And I was going to go for lunch with some friends. And I thought, no, it's not over. I need to go soak. So I bought Catherine's CD. And I went out to my Jeep and I sat in the parking lot. In the minute, I put the music back on. I was back there. I was right back there standing with Jesus. And my clothes instantly turned into a wedding dress. And we walked together, and he took me back to a vision I had when I first got saved. When I was praying and spending time with him, I went to this elevator, and I came up this elevator, and the doors opened, and there was this line of fire. And I walked through the fire, and I didn't get burned. Oh, God. Oh. And then there was this row of angels. Big angels. With huge swords that were crossed. And I walked through them down this huge hallway in this mansion, and there was a door. And I tried to open the door. I put my foot on the wall. I grabbed the doorknob and I was trying to pull it, and it would not open. So I stepped back. Whoa! I stepped back, and the door opened from this side, and it opened in instead of out. And for 10 years, I've been staring at that door, going, I don't know what that door is, and why can't I get in it? Why did you take me there, God? Whoa. And Jesus was still holding my hand. And he looked at me and he said, the door is worship.
Oh my God.
So we walked in to this beautiful room. Help me, Lord. And we started to dance. And I looked in his eyes, and it was indescribable. The feeling, I was overwhelmed. It was so heavy. Oh, I can't put words to it. I'm sorry. It was amazing. And he looked deep in my eyes, and he said, Joni, take it. It's my love. Take it, receive it, and go give it away. Oh. And I stood there weeping and weeping and weeping, and suddenly he took me We were out in the galaxies and we were looking over the earth. We were looking over the earth and the earth started to open in different places. Oh, my goodness. The earth started to open. And God was pouring in to different places. And I believe it's the 11 nations that are praying for this conference right now that He was showing me. And then He brought me to this region. And we were standing on the clouds.
Yes.
Looking at this region, and I saw hundreds, maybe thousands of angels drop all over this nation. And in between the angels were these pillars of light. And God said, I'm pouring out my love. Now.
Wow.
And the angels are there to help minister because we're going to be overwhelmed. Wow. Wow. Jesus. I think that's it.
Stay here.
I think that's it.
Stay here.
Oh, it's right.
Yeah, release it.
That last song we had at worship I'd never heard before. It's a glory. Thank you. Oh, the glory is God's love. It's God's love. And I've always felt like an orphan my entire life. Even though I was part of a lot of things, I've always felt like I didn't fit. Whoa! Whoa! And during that song, this is where I belong. Whoa! In God's glory, in God's love, all the time is where I belong. I found my home.
Wow.